What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. What a horrible series in Cincinnati. I mean, I guess it could have been worse. At least we won one. But, honestly, James, I might have to blame you. We didn't give a full, in-depth pitching scouting report as we normally do. So, I'm just saying.
I agree with that, but you also kind of pushed the conversation elsewhere during the series preview last week.
To be fair, it's on both of us. Hand up, both of us. We take full responsibility. It's not Eric Chavez's fault. Never was, never will be. But bad series. Not great. We did see the debut of Brandon Sproat. We saw Jonah Tong make his second MLB debut, and we saw Dave Peterson pitch on Friday night. So there's some things to talk about. I don't know. It's annoying to lose this series. I really was hoping that after a little bit of the 1 p.m. slate of NFL games, we'd be a little happier than this because the Mets would have maybe won the series, but that's not the case. So, of course, as always, make sure you are following us on all our social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed. If you're watching on TV, which I know a lot of you are, hit the up arrow on your remote, then click subscribe because I had a brain blast the other day.
Okay.
The subscribe button's not there for 90% of people because they're watching on TV now.
Yeah.
If you're on the computer, if you're on your phone, you hit subscribe. TV, you got to scroll up, hit subscribe. Appreciate you. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. But James, you said it well. Terrible series. Not great.
No, I would even argue the Mets didn't deserve to win any of these games, which doesn't feel good to say afterwards. You've blown the tiebreaker against the Reds, who the Giants have surged past in the wildcard standings, but now just the way you play in this series, this kind of means that we are going to have to really grind out this last month of the season. There will not be a moment to rest. Now the Diamondbacks even stormed ahead of the Reds. This is crazy. Like, those two teams are actually somehow scalding hot. We no longer have a tiebreaker over the Reds. It was bad. Like, miracle to win the game on Friday. Have a lot to say about Tong and Sproat, but we'll save that for a little bit later and get more in depth. And that Saturday game, I think, was one of the most frustrating because didn't really ever feel like Brady Singer had much. Like, it's just again sliders, sweepers, sinkers, like all around the zone at the same time. But he couldn't really sustain anything. I know Tong gave up the home runs again. We'll talk about that. Then Ryan Stanton comes into high leverage for the second day in a row, pitches horrifically bad. And it's just
bad.
That wasn't. It's just that the way that game on Saturday got away was really frustrating, knowing that the Reds had Hunter Green waiting today, and you knew you weren't going to hit him, and that's fine. You tip the cap to Hunter Green. He's a marvel to watch pitch. But there wasn't I don't even know, is it urgency? Like, it just they didn't have a lot of oomph in that game on Saturday, and that carried into Sunday. The whole thing didn't feel that great.
No, there was no juice. This entire series just kind of had no juice for the Mets, and this is a weird common thing that we've seen when this team hits the road, they just do not have the same intensity. They don't have the same vigor. They don't have the same vibe. And I don't know what the problem with that is, why that keeps happening, but this is a common theme now that has been going on for basically 2 years with this team, is that at home, they play excellent baseball. When the Mets are at home, one of the best teams in the league. And unless they're playing in LA, they are not good on the road. They're horrible.
Or
Get to LA,
Francisco.
we're great. Yeah, or San Francisco. I guess, is it something with the West Coast? I can't figure it out for the life of me, but they don't show up on the road. And that's super concerning, especially when we're in a spot when our playoff series is going to be on the road.
Yeah, we've dropped 9 games under 500 on the road, 31 and 40.
Bad.
The only other 2 teams currently in the playoffs in the National League. So I guess it actually is half of them with losing records on the road. The Dodgers are 34 and 38, and the Padres are 34 and 40. So again, this isn't like exactly an anomaly among good teams, but
Yes,
it's disappointing when this happens. When again, I called this the first blood series of the season because you did have a chance to kill a team. Like, if you could go into Cincinnati, especially after the momentum I thought they kind of took on Friday night.
I know.
Even just winning the series, you make this very hard for them. Sweeping them, you destroy them. You would have killed them. Their season would be absolutely over. And now it's not. They're very alive still. And same with the Giants, same with the Diamondbacks. Like, it's become a much more uncomfortable spot for this Mets team because of how poorly they've played.
Yeah, we're going to do a little scoreboard watching during this podcast because right now the Giants are down 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning against the Cardinals. Shout out the Cardinals for winning on Saturday night as well. That was insane that they came back and won that game. But at the exact moment we're talking right now, Mets are 3.5 up on the Giants, 4 up on the Diamondbacks, 4 up on the Reds, 5 up on the Cardinals. Like, this is so not over because the Mets couldn't get the job done this weekend.
But luckily against 3 of those 4 teams. No. Wait, I don't remember the Cardinals. Think we split the season series. So I don't know how that
think we
tiebreaker
split with them,
works
yeah,
out.
because they won when we were there, but we won here.
Yeah, but we have the tiebreaker over both the Giants and the Diamondbacks, which is helpful. No longer have it over the Reds. But that is kind of like losing a game in the standings, losing that tiebreaker. Because if you end the season tied with the Reds, they have the spot over you.
We did it to the Diamondbacks last year.
Yeah, both series we played against them were terrible looking back. Like, that's some of the worst. I know we played a lot of bad baseball in the second half, but that, especially that Red series right off the All-Star break, David Wright Day, was bad. And this series was it never felt really good at all. Again, winning on Friday itself was a miracle. Getting through all of the hitting Andrew Abbott well, not being able to sniff a run against their bullpen, and then kind of dragging our feet to that 5-4 win, where it felt like both teams were going to keep hitting and no one scores run after the fourth inning. Miracle. It was bad taste in my mouth this series.
You talk about a miracle. Edwin Diaz loaded the bases without getting a single out. And then
went to 3 balls on the next batter.
Yeah, went to 3 balls on the next batter. Gets out of it, changes his shoes, and that seems to be the magic key to Edwin Diaz getting out of it. Like, the Mets very easily could have been swept this series. And all of a sudden we'd be like, oh, shit. Like, what is going on? It is frustrating because this team's peaks and valleys feel so dramatic every single time. There's the middle ground for this team has not existed this year. They haven't played 500 baseball. It's either been the best team in baseball or one of the worst teams. And I don't know how that exists for 162 games.
And then just, you hate to do this. I hate looking back at things, but all the little tiny games that we gave away the last few weeks against the Marlins, the Nationals. But it seems like we have these conversations every few weeks because we've left so much meat on the bone this season. And then now you're getting to September. Like, this is it. Like, this is the time to go win. And they're still not really able to do it. Now you're looking at this Philly series this week. I know we just handled them really well at home. It's a different story on the road. Again, like you said, like, I don't know. It's hard. I don't feel that. It's not that I don't feel confident in that the team can make the playoffs. I just think they have to drag themselves up again. Like, something amazing has to happen. It's just there's such a wide range of outcomes for what this team can do day in and day out that gets very frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I think the Mets are a playoff team. I think they're one of the 6 best teams in the National League. I think they're better than the Giants. I think they're better than the Diamondbacks. I think they're better than the Reds. I think we can all agree on that. But unless they start playing better than those teams, this is going to get dicey. And yes, we have a at worst 3-game lead over the Giants if they are to come back against the Cardinals tonight. But at the same time, those 3 games, especially with our schedule the rest of the way, it's tough. The Mets are playing only playoff teams basically the rest of the year. We have the last series against the Marlins down in Miami, which I know is going to be hell. It's going to be a nightmare playing in Miami to end the year. But we go Philly the next series. We have 4 games against them. Good baseball team. We got the Rangers, who are clawing their way back into the American League wild card. They're getting close because nobody wants to take that final spot. The Padres are still technically hanging around. They're 1.5 games up on us right now, but still, they're still fighting to make sure that they make the playoffs.
It's a good team.
You've got the Nationals, who suck. That has to be a sweep. And then the Cubs and the Marlins. Like, this is a tough schedule on the way out, and the Mets need to play a lot better baseball than they did this weekend.
And you felt like they were coming to this series hot. The 3 runs in the first inning strung that rally together on Friday night. You have 5 runs in the first 4 innings of this series, and you score 5 runs for the rest of the entire series.
Yeah, it's bad.
This is not good enough. And again, absolutely absolved for not being able to score against Hunter Green. You guys watching Hunter Green, it's crazy to watch what he does, but Brady Singer had nothing. And then we were on.
Brady Singer's never had anything. He's never been a pitcher that has instilled.
Brady Singer will hang around forever. Like, he'll be a 4 ERA guy, but like, you should have been on him.
You should be hitting Brady Singer. It's crazy they didn't jump all over him. He's got nothing. He's a Major League Baseball pitcher. That's what he is.
And 2 days in a row, these futile rallies in the last inning. Very frustrated by the Starling Marte double play. Like, I know that he's had moments of real brilliance this year, but now the last few weeks he's gotten cold again. And I understand flipping the lefty-righty in the lineup as Mendoza does straight through, but would so much rather, again, of course he's right. He's righty facing the righty where Jeff McNeil's on deck as the lefty, but you wish that there was a lefty to bring in that spot. And we have thought that was going to be Jesse Winker. Now we know that's not going to be Jesse Winker. So that is a frustrating part of where this roster is right now. But just that was a bad double play, stumbles out of the box. You felt like you had momentum. You felt like you were on them.
I mean, Soto hit that nice shot.
And then we get on base and we kind of scoring position afterwards, not stealing Acuna. I thought there was a moment to do it. And if you do it, I still don't know if he scores though on that Nimmo line drive, just because it was right. It was right in front of, that was, I think, Hayes in left field there. It was just, you keep getting so close. And this is the beauty of baseball, that like, if any of these teeny tiny things change, our whole opinion of the series change.
Of course.
Like, if you tie that game in ninth inning and you win this game, very different podcast. If you lose the game on Friday, you could have really deserved to lose. We'll do a forensic look back at that ninth inning in a few minutes. Also, such a different podcast. We're absolutely down in the dumps. But it's just kind of this feeling that you come out with.
Yeah, the annoying thing, too, is like, it's not like the Reds have this like big bad lefty in the bullpen either. I know Brent Suter is a very capable major league pitcher, but I don't know. There's been a couple times this week specifically where Starling Marte has come up and hit into double plays in big moments in games that the Mets have been losing when a lefty was available on the bench. And
but who you're going to bring in Jared Young,
Ronnie Mauricio?
Ryan Mauricio, it seems like he's just not even in consideration anymore.
I know, but remember when Vientos wasn't? Remember when like these guys all work?
Yeah.
The thing, again, I'm not blaming Mendoza here. I want that to be very well known. The Mets scored 2 runs. Hunter Green shut us down. We had 1 hit going into the 9th inning. We did not deserve to win this baseball game offensively. But at the same time, I don't love, and this is something that is going to sound crazy to the baseball podcast, but soccer, when coaches don't use their subs, you have these guys available. You have these bullets in the chamber. I think you've got to use them. And as good as
they ride with Marte though. They were getting Marte that.
No, but
and if he doesn't stumble, and if Ellie De La Cruz doesn't make a great play and a glove flip to second base with Matt McClain,
it's one of those things though where it's like we have the guys. I would like to see a little more flexibility, a little more. Do you get mad if it's Ronnie Mauricio? Jared Young, I can understand people being like, no, Jared Young.
If you tell me all 3 of those guys, I probably would still rather Starling Marte take that bat.
Maybe this is where I'm off then. Yeah.
Just about him getting stalled off and not putting barrel on the ball when we did have some steam. And again, even just the fact that you had to make 2 outs. You make 1 out, I think we still have a great chance to tie that game.
That's the thing.
2 outs. It's like that. It's frustrating. I hate also that we're beginning this podcast talking about that because that was one of the most frustrating things that happened in the series when there were other things, not exactly good, not exactly bad, but other very interesting things to talk about, mainly Tong and Sproat.
Sure. And then also, talk about Saturday, Lindor and Soto got on, 7 times in that game, and the Mets couldn't score any runs. So it's at some point, Pete didn't have a particularly great series. Nimmo kind of went a little bit cold, too, in that game, too.
Nimmo and Pete, that game on Saturday, tons of chances. Those two just left Army on base, just them two themselves.
Yeah. So it's there are things that you can see how they get out of this issue, but also at the same time, they didn't. So it sucks, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, but again, I want to talk about Sproat.
Yes, let's talk about him. Yeah,
Sproat first, then Tong. I think that overall impressive.
Yeah,
I think
thumbs up.
The guys in the booth were happy with him too. I think he showed good mettle. I think that while looking at the box score, especially until he got to that 6th inning, it was the walks and strikeouts were pretty even the whole way. But it did feel like when he was walking the guys, it was more about not giving in, not giving them pitches to hit, and just understanding he could get the next guy. Despite putting traffic on base, he did feel in control relatively to me.
Yes, I know. I totally agree. You look back at his box score, you said 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 7 Ks. The 4 walks are high, but I do like that you mentioned that it felt like it wasn't a lack of command. It was more of the game plan was that I'm not afraid to walk guys.
Yeah, if I walk guys, I'll get the next guy. You can see with Sproat, and we talked about this, he's much more control over command. It's more of getting those pitches in the zone, not exactly spotting them, which maybe that's something to work towards. Also, I thought it was cool. Again, the lefties were a bit of a slog, and we kind of knew that going in. I thought it was cool how, not the word isn't careful, but how he approached them. It was breaking ball heavy against those lefties, which we kind of hypothesized that'd be something that he would do. He faced 8 lefties in this game. 5 of them either got a first pitch curveball or sweeper.
And we saw that with McClain in his first start too. So this might be a maybe organizational thing too to kind of ease these guys in against the lefty.
And it's cool that he can command those 2 breakers. I thought those were his 2 most impressive pitches by far. Some he did not command well, but some of them, when he put them in the right spot, you're like, damn, those are nasty. Even the one that Ellie hit the double on in that 6th during that rally wasn't a bad pitch. It was at his middle of his shin. It did get too much plate, but that's just a good piece of hitting. You tip your cap to someone who's in the upper echelon of baseball players in the league. It was from what we saw from him, fully encouraged.
We are longtime fans of Omaha Steaks, and I am drooling looking at the website right now, featuring USDA certified tender steaks, and also during their Red Hot Sale event going on right now this fall, 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus for the FT fam, an extra $35 off with promo code FOUL at checkout. You've been a big fan of Omaha Steaks since your early days as a pro.
Brings me back to my low A-ball days because we used to survive on this. We get a big order at the beginning of the year, cook them on our little electric grill, can of peas, some mac and cheese. That was dinner for 4. We survived off Omaha Steaks. It still has a special place in my heart.
You thrived.
Well,
you guys ate like kings.
Yeah.
That's special. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event. And for an extra $35 off, promo code FOUL at checkout. 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code FOUL at checkout. See site for details. Dig in.
Yeah, I feel good. He deserves another shot in this rotation without
Feels like
doubt.
He definitely belongs in the rotation.
It's been way better than Frankie Montas had been at any point this season. So it's I think everybody who's listening to this knows exactly what we think of Brandon Sproat, but give him another shot. This is a guy who I think is fighting for a playoff spot if they make it on the roster. The stuff looked good. just didn't get a lot of swings and misses. That's the only thing I guess I really would say. 6 swings and misses over 6 innings is
not
a little concerning.
It was a lot of called strikes though, because I thought he mixed up well when he was using those breaking balls in the strike zone. And again, like that's something that if you don't get called, it clearly, I don't think he's doing that many swings and misses with the fastball. The fastball is, while it comes in hard, it's not really a shape that's really going to make guys swing over it like Tonks. And the sinker, he's kind of just more putting it where he had to put it. But the fact that he still got 17 called strikes
is
opposed to those swings and misses, like that is something that he has. And again, he's not going. He's the guy whose ceiling I think is much more in question than the other two. But the way that he can mix it up, can use the breaking balls in different counts, was willing to go to a deep bag. And hitless through 5 1/3 innings. Like that rally happened third time around the order. I still happily would have left him out there for that. But he was very in control, and it was cool. It was encouraging to see what he was able to do with those breaking balls.
Especially with the fact that this bullpen has almost nobody trustworthy outside of Edwin
Reed
Diaz.
Garrett's back.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good, looked really good, which I like to see that. That's huge. But I think if you ask 99% of Mets fans before today's game, before he ever made a pitch again after coming off the IL, you trust Reed Garrett, I think they'd all say no.
Yeah, but I think you should still be trusting Reed Garrett, especially relative to the other options.
Especially over Ryan Stanek and everybody else that we got over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of R's in this bullpen.
Yeah, a lot of R's in this bullpen. It was just a good debut for Sproul. He definitely pitched well enough to win.
He, similarly to like how you mentioned Brady Singer's like a major league pitcher, that's kind of what I see right now with Brandon Sprouse, like major league pitcher. Let's see where else we can go with this.
Yeah, that's fine. That's someone who should be in this rotation compared to what else we have here. It's just Hunter Green's a buzzsaw. Like he was dominant.
He's really good.
Inning, the 7th, whenever he peaked, drew the leadoff walk on that razor thin pitch, and then he just went ballistic, striking the next 3 batters out, gassing up 100, 101 when he was nearing 100 pitches. Like that's the kind of guy that doesn't really exist on most major league teams. Like good for the Reds, they have him because he's a menace.
Talk to me a little bit about Jonah Tong, because I think we need to throw a little bit of water on what I think some Mets fans could be thinking about Jonah Tong right now. Because I think when you see him give up all those home runs in that game, you get a little bit disappointed in the kind of player that he is. But still, I think behind the curtain, the stuff looked really good still.
I almost thought there were elements that he did better in this game than the first start, truthfully. Yeah. Like, I think the fact that he was elevating that fastball more consistently, he was getting more swings and misses on it, was cool. The home runs are just going to kind of be part of Jonah Tong's game.
It's fastball changeup guy.
I said that on Twitter, and people were jumping down my throat. What do you mean it's part of his game? How he's supposed to be good? But that when you throw that kind of high spin efficiency fastball with that vertical action top of the zone, hitters are often getting under the ball. So sometimes you swing under the ball, sometimes you get under and pop it up, like we saw a lot in that Marlins game. If you square it up a teeny bit well enough, it's easy to go out. And I think that the McLean home run was an example of where Tom, especially in a park like this, we don't play our home games here. We play home game Citi Field. It's very different. That Matt McLean home run was not a home run in Citi Field. I think the other two were, though. Stout Stewart's was pretty well struck.
Yeah,
the Austin Hayes one was destroyed.
Yeah, they smoked those balls.
Those two were also less. I mean, the Stewart one also was high in the zone. The McLean one was high in the zone. The Austin Hayes one was right down the middle. It was just a bad pitch and it got murdered. But the McLean one, it was high. It was a decent spot. He just got just enough of the bat on it to get enough backspin on the batted ball to get that ball out. But the Stewart one, high fastball in the zone, he just got his barrel on it. It was more of a good piece of hitting from him. But that's just. Besides those home runs, he felt. I mean, again, besides those home runs, look at this guy. Besides those fucking home runs, but like there were still the moments of dominance, and there was the fact that not many people were on base for those home runs. To give up 3 home runs, only allow 4 runs, to still pitch 6 innings. That shows where the quality is. But these home runs, again, when he's throwing these elevated fastballs, that's just part of the game.
I also think, like you mentioned, people get upset about the home runs, right? Because, oh my God, home run bad. If nobody's on, it's not as dangerous as when there's guys on. And not comparing, but like Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Garrett Cole, these are all guys who never walk anybody. They limit base runners in that way. They get a ton of swing and miss, ton of strikeouts.
The good version of Strider.
Yeah, and if you look every single year, they're towards the top of home runs given up, but they're solo shots. That's why they're able to be these great pitchers that they are. Jonah Tong's repertoire and his arsenal leads towards that kind of profile of giving up the home runs, like you mentioned, but if he's not allowing base runners, and the stuff is disgusting. The pitches are really good. It's okay. You've talked to me about this before off the podcast, that Dodgers are so scared of giving up home runs that they force their pitchers to throw low in the zone because they can't really hurt you on one swing as often. That's the risk you run with Jonah Tong, who loves to throw the high fastball.
Totally. And again, maybe that was part of the game plan for that first game against the Marlins, for this game against the Reds, because elevating that fastball, he did get more swings and misses on it.
Yeah, of course. It's a good pitch.
And he was still able to tunnel the changeup with it too, and he got tongues of whiffs on that too. But you could see in this start what I've been telling you about the curveball, right?
Yes, it's almost too slow.
It's like a little too obvious. They were spinning on it very easily. He didn't get one chase out of the strike zone on that curveball in this entire start. We saw the little slider cutter thing too a little bit. Like that was something that was So at least him
Eighth
showing
and
a new
five
wrinkle.
of them, I think.
Yeah, but I think that was after he got around the lineup, like time and a half. He started to throw those. But again, it's just the home runs are a killer. When we
Yes.
have these starts for Joe and Tong in these ballparks, that's why it was nice too. They pushed him back to Saturday and not Friday, because I think we were openly a bit worried about how he was going to pitch in this park. And not that David Peterson pitched well on Friday, but again, just to ease Tong in, to have him take the mound, we already had a win in our hand, and still showing the same whimsy on the mound, like still showing the same grit when he got in situations. But
I kind of liked that he showed he was a little pissed off at times too. I
Oh,
like
for
that.
sure. The frustration was real, but also because when you throw those fastballs down the middle to the AAA hitters, that's a whiff pitch.
Oh, they can't touch it. Yeah.
But when you miss that spot against the major league hitters in a park like this, the ball gets crushed, and that's
Yes.
something. Especially when the hitters are always prepared for a lot of things that are moving kind of fast and kind of straight, like Murphy always tells us.
Yeah, which again, I think everybody who listens to the podcast knows what Jonah Tong is, knows what these young pitchers are. He's 22 years old. I'm still unbelievably excited about what the future looks like for him, and
Even the present.
Yeah, even the present. Let this be his bad start. Ooh, 6 innings. We can't get our veterans who are paying $20 million a year to go 6 innings right now.
No, literally. Again, like he did still muddle through the 6 innings. Every start one of these pitching prospects has made, they've completed at least 5 innings, every single one of them.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I
that's
think
sick.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Tong's the one who's actually gone deep the least, because Sproat completed 6, McLean's completed 6 multiple times. Like, that part's cool. I'm interested to see, though, now as we keep moving with this schedule, how it lines up for these guys very differently. Like, we're throwing, the way we've reshuffled, McLean's been thrown into the fire. Like, he's starting game 1 in Philadelphia.
It's
And
crazy.
he's going to face the Rangers. So their offense isn't really the same without Seager and, without Seager and DeSemian right now. And then at the end of the season, I'm really looking at that Cubs series. That's going to be a critical series, because the line's up that I think Sproat's going to miss that series, but Tong's going to get that series. So I think that's going
In
to be one
Chicago.
in Chicago. We don't know what the weather's going to be like, because the wind can change everything there. But I'm really intrigued to see how Joe and Tong responds to this adversity, because he's never faced adversity as a professional baseball player.
Never. Literally not one
He's torn
second.
through every level of the minor leagues. The fastball been good enough, and you saw him be like, I'm going to put my head down and get through the line at one time just with fastballs.
Yes.
Didn't exactly work, so maybe there's an adjustment next time, but it's interesting to watch these guys grow and learn on the fly.
No, I'm very encouraged. Again, like Sproat wasn't perfect, Tong wasn't perfect, but there are things that you can see that are really exciting about these guys. Again, Sproat 7 strikeouts was wasn't sick.
Didn't 3 of them come in that 6th inning?
Yeah, like he clearly has a little bit of dog in him. I have no doubt
For
about
sure.
that.
SEC boy, you love that. And also, like, Brett Beatty tried to Ole that really hard ground ball that let Ellie De La Cruz
Yes.
in. Also, Jeff McNeil throw home when the runner was clearly safe. You give Ellie that extra base. If that run doesn't come home, we might be having a very different conversation.
Defense
right
is back. You know,
now. No, Brett Beatty was playing in.
I'm saying if Ellie's on second, he's playing back.
No.
He's not
no,
playing
totally.
in.
And then that's a very easy play. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also, like it was a bang bang play. It was a difficult play. One that I do wish he would have made. One that I did expect him to make, honestly, off the bat. But those are little things that you wish you could get more right in a game like this, because this is such an important game. And if it's a 1-run game in that ballpark, you always have a shot to come back into it. And it just
Literally.
wasn't. That was the problem.
Yeah, pop-ups in that ballpark go out for home runs. Just it sucks. It sucks to lose a series like this because, I mean, like you said, so lucky we didn't get swept. Really didn't deserve it, but at the same time, this team has to wake up on the road. I know they're not alone. You mentioned the Dodgers and the Padres, but if you want to win a World Series or even have a chance to win a playoff series, you got to win some games on the road.
More games on the road. The fact that we're this far, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like that concerning, because if you do get into a playoff series, I think everything is just different. That's
Sure.
it. I know these guys can win a game on the road. They can win a game at home. They can win a game anywhere. What ballpark you want to play? I think these guys can win a game. But it's about the maintaining the energy in these
Yes.
road trips. And now there's a big series coming up. There's something more I want to talk
Huge.
about. But it's I don't know. You felt like you had something after that game on Friday, and you felt like you lost it quick.
Yeah, I mean, Edwin Diaz got out of there in a miracle. I still don't really understand fully how he got out of that inning because he changed his shoes, he changed his cleats. You ever seen that before? I haven't.
I texted my dad and my friend's dad, shout out Mr. O, because we all have a group chat together. And I was like, literally, you guys have watched a lot more baseball than I have. Have you ever seen this? They were both
No.
like, absolutely not. Can I read you what I wrote for Row the World about that 9th inning in Edwin Diaz?
Yeah, let's hear it.
It was crazy. So this is me posting for officially NBC Sports Row the World. You guys could probably tell if you read those updates which ones are mine, because I really put some of our bits into there. Simply put, Edwin Diaz is an adrenaline junkie.
There it is.
Brian Hayes hit a single to start the 9th, and Diaz walked the next 2 batters to load the bases with no outs in a 1-run game. Then some weird things began to happen. Diaz managed to strike out Noelvi Marte after catcher Francisco Alvarez stopped the game for a minute to adjust his hat and mask. That was very forgotten
Also
about.
strange, yeah.
I thought that was some gamesmanship by
It
Alvarez.
definitely is, yeah.
To give, and I think that Keith was alluding to that without saying it outright in the broadcast, which is a good thing that he picked up, but just giving Edwin the chance to catch his breath because Noelvi bailed us out. Noelvi's a good
Big
ball
time.
player. He was in a lot of these rallies this series, but that was a horrible at bat from the swing of the slider out of the strike zone, completely save Edwin Diaz. But then I go on Ellie De La Cruz is up next, and Diaz stopped the game for nearly 5 minutes because one of his cleats broke and he had to change his shoes, which was such a funny visual that made its way around Twitter with Edwin with like the two new shoes next to the cleats he was wearing. The fact that these guys have backup cleats ready to go is so funny too. Like I've never considered that. But then seeing the spike breaking, I was like, you can't pitch like that.
What's also crazy too is like metal cleats take forever to break in. So these are cleats that he's been wearing that he's ready just in case, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. And then so it said Edwin Diaz stopped the game for nearly 5 minutes because one of his cleats broke and he had to change his shoes. On the mound, this happened in the middle of an at-bat with the go-ahead run on second base in the middle of a pennant race. Only the Mets. Diaz struck out De La Cruz, then had to race Gavin Lux to first base on a play where Luis Acuna made a gorgeous stop and hole and threw a strike to Diaz, who was in a dead sprint to the bag. Just another save in the box score.
You would have never known if you didn't watch the highlights. You'd be like, oh, Mets won this game. Not bad.
That was a great play by both Acuna and Diaz because we know how much
Shocked
Diaz
he
has
covered.
struggled with the PFPs. But he was, the second it happened, off the mound, Acuna in the hole, threw a ball with mustard, and Diaz actually made the play and touched the bag in one motion. It was nice. And just thinking back, if anything goes wrong in that play and we get swept in this series, it's threat level midnight right now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it is such a miracle looking back and appreciating that win that much more.
Yeah, I hate saying thank God we won one. But thank God we won one game because the Reds only gained one on us in a series that we played like complete and utter dog shit.
Bad, especially because the way this game started felt like we were going to hammer them. That home run that Vientos hit off Andrew Abbott, 427 feet to right center field, is the fifth furthest opposite field home run in the whole league this season.
That's crazy.
Crazy. It was Judge, one, of course, Otani. There was a couple other weird ones on there. Jordan Beck has one of the longest ones, which is funny.
Really?
Powerful young man. Yeah, but it's just, you felt like we were ready to pop the lid off this game and just put up another 10 runs like we'd been doing for a lot of this week. And then everything stopped, and it feels like it may have just actually stopped now. It feels like the offense may have finally stopped being super hot.
Yeah, I hope that maybe getting into Philly and that insane atmosphere and the fact that that stadium's going to be packed every night, I'm hoping that wakes them up a little bit again because it's if the stadium isn't absolutely rocking from the first pitch, it feels like they don't show up, which is crazy.
No, Francisco Lindor in that game on Friday, too, on base 5 times. The OPS
he's
is
awesome.
back officially above 800. Soto, too, was just ripping. That double he ripped down the line with Lindor in second. They went back-to-back doubles to 2 outs. I was like, this is nice. But we're in another spot where now some of these concerns about David Peterson are
Real?
coming to fruition.
I think a sneaky thing that, like, I don't know how you feel about it yet, but we've talked about on this podcast Clay Holmes innings, these younger pitchers innings.
Oh, for sure.
David Peterson's way higher than he's ever thrown innings-wise in his career. Not making an excuse, but could that be part of the reason maybe why the production has diminished a little bit?
Oh, no doubt. You could feel that. People were talking about that on Twitter this weekend. Last year, 2 years ago, it was 100. 3 years ago, 105. 2 years ago, 111. Last year, 121. But when you add the postseason into last year, that 121, you get 12 more. You get to 133. And then last year, he did pitch a bit in the minor leagues, too, to begin the season as he was rehabbing. So he also last year in the minors threw another 25 innings.
So like
So again,
150.
So again, he got to 150 last year across all levels. And right now, he's at 157. So he should have 170, 180 in the tank pretty easily. And he's on pace for that. He's on pace to go a little bit more than that. But seeing the lack of consistency with his breaking balls now for the entire second half, seeing the fact that he cruised early, got into trouble, then he was in that 6th inning of 70 pitches. I was like, all right, this is back. It's going to be a good David Peterson start. And then 21 pitches to face 3 batters, got 1 out, and got pulled from the game.
Yeah, it's he's just got to be better. But this is also like why we've always cautioned everybody that David Peterson's not number 1 is for this exact reason right here.
Totally, nor number 2, but that's also okay. Like him having a 3.7 ERA now this
It's
season
great.
feels like what was more so expected. Him having a 2.8 into July, that may have hurt the perception of him because that's not who he is. Like him being between a 3.5 and a 3.8 guy is cool. It's fine. It's totally accepted. It's the total reverse of what's happened with Mark Vientos.
Yeah,
With Mark Vientos, I tweeted it Friday, he's about to backdoor a 750 OPS 20 home run season, which is like what the projections called for with him. Where Peterson's sadly going to backdoor like a 3.7 ERA season, which the projection said for him. So just these things all wind up the way we kind of think they're going to be early. Then during the season, we start having fun. We start to see things. We start to change our mind. But by the end of the year, it's kind of exactly what you expect it to be.
Yeah, no, it's crazy that we've never learned, but 162 game season, pretty much all the stuff that's supposed to happen ends up happening by the end.
Sadly. And again, like great job by the bullpen in that game holding on. Like Stanek, whatever he
Stanek big.
did. Stanek Friday was good. Stanek Saturday was bad. Brooks Raley was awesome. Tyler Rogers was awesome. Another one of the cheapest hits I've ever seen in my life.
Crazy
off
how
of
many
Tyler
doinks
Rogers.
he gives up. I can't believe it. I know it's because he pitches to contact, but
It will
so
also
many
play more
other
chaos.
everyone else pitches to contact too, and they don't give up these hits.
For sure. But this Thursday start that Peterson's going to make against the Phillies, I have a big
Huge.
circle on it to watch. 'Cause I think that's one that's going to become interesting. But do you have anything else you had from this series?
I mean, no Skyline chili for you.
No Skyline Chili for me. Shout out Laura Albanese. Did you see the video she posted of herself trying Skyline Chili for
No,
the
I
first
didn't
time?
see that.
The look of disgust on her face when she took the first bite and called it
crazy.
gelatinous, it was incredible content.
Gelatinous?
Yeah, gelatinous was the word for it.
Meat
It was
should
really
never
good
be
content.
described as gelatinous.
You should find that video and watch it.
Okay,
'Cause It was very,
I'll take
it was
a
very
watch
funny.
after this. Yeah.
Yeah, very well done. But again, it seems like these guys love being Cincinnati between like the announcers, like Gary, Keith, and like seems like Keith and Ron just have baseball memories of Cincinnati themselves.
Probably go out to North Kentucky after
go
the
out to
game.
Kentucky. But I know that Keith had those wars against the Reds in the 70s with the Cardinals. Like
And
that's
the
cool.
Mets too.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because the Mets and the Reds are a bit more of a historical rivalry.
Yeah, because they were both in the NL East. So
Yeah.
the fact that those teams battled for a long time, like, it's kind of weird to think about, but the Mets like have way more of a rivalry technically with the Reds than they do like the Nationals or the Marlins.
And this Reds team was hyped for this series. They came out ready to rip.
Came
Like,
out
they
swinging.
they were ready to go. They knew how important of a series it was. They were prepared for it. Sometimes they didn't play very well themselves, but they definitely played better. They probably outplayed the Mets almost. Not, I still won't give them Friday, but the next two games they
It's-
certainly outplayed us.
But it's the same thing as like when we played them here. Like the Reds don't play good baseball by any means.
They play fine. They don't play great baseball. They play fine baseball.
They
It's
play
a little-
fine baseball. It's like when I mean, Terry Francona is their manager. They feel like so much like the Guardians as well. Like they have a little more
They're a better
juice.
version.
They have a little more juice. But at the same time, like you watch them, like, how do you keep winning as many games as you do? I don't get it fully.
We spend a lot of time on the road. We are often concerned about our online security when you're logging in from all over the globe, really. So you should maybe look into a VPN. What does that stand for, Kratz?
Virtual private network.
Boom, nailed it. And that virtual private network that you should look into is called Surfshark. It is time to take control of your online security and try Surfshark today. You can enjoy their 30-day money-back guarantee and secure your digital world right now by visiting the link that we'll post there for you and start surfing securely. Surfshark.com/foul or the code foul at checkout will get you 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN, aka Virtual Private Network. It's a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Surfshark's unique VPN benefits include use on unlimited devices in 100 countries and 24/7 support at surfshark.com/FOUL. This has been your tech update. Keep your data safe.
Again, like we always say, like they're a $50 million infusion away from being a World Series contender.
Like the Guardians.
Yeah, same thing. But if
Every
they
year. Who
they
are also
combine-
sneaking their way back into the wild card. I don't know if you've seen that. They're 2 games back.
As they always do. All these teams always do. But it's frustrating to leave this series feeling this way. Like I really was hoping that this would be a happier episode. I was really
I was
happy
too.
we'd put this team to bed, and now we got a dogfight for the next 3 weeks. I hope everyone's ready.
No, it's game on. Before we get going into this Phillies season series preview, although it does feel like the season's pretty much on the line in this series. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Got to give, of course, a little, I don't know, shout out's not the right word, but talk
Pour one
about,
out.
pouring out for Davey Johnson, passed
Pay
away
respects.
this weekend. Obviously, Mets legendary manager, won the 86 World Series with them, passed away this weekend. Sad to see. Big part of the baseball world. Good guy.
Huge part of the
Davey
baseball
Johnson.
world. Huge part of the Mets family. Hearing Gary, Keith, and Ron talk about him between Saturday and Sunday's games was nice. Like the stories, just how much they wrote for him, how much of a player's manager he was. I think that's like the one thing that always shines through with Davey Johnson is that
What's
he was
the story about with
The plane.
the plane?
Yeah, when after the Mets tore up their plane after beating the Astros in the NLCS and they completely destroyed a private jet, they I think it was Frank Cashin, one of them, either the Mets owner or Frank Cashin, the GM, told David Johnson like these guys got to foot the bill, and it was like a weird moment because like you just made the World Series, but the people in your organization are kind of rallying against you, and then Davey apparently went to the clubhouse and tore up the bill and said we're not fucking paying him. And I was like yeah, that was like a galvanizing moment for the guys, but it's sad. It's sad. He's a big part of the Mets history. Hearing those guys talk about him, it really kind of locks in how much they loved him.
It's another baseball lifer. He was managing the Nationals like late in his career.
10 years ago?
Yeah, like Davey Johnson was a legend.
playing himself in the 60s and 50s or 60s by the time he was a player.
Yeah, no, he's a baseball lifer. R.I.P. to Davey Johnson. as we now jump into this Phillies season series preview. I did it again.
Twice
It's because there's just so much pressure for what this season could be. Because I'll tell you what, as much as we own the Phillies at Citi Field, and I know we've had a good run against them at Citizens Bank.
One more David Johnson. David Johnson got MVP votes one year.
Really? What year?
1971. He came in 19th for the MVP. He wasn't even an All-Star.
Hey, shout out Davey Johnson.
4.5 win player. Yeah.
But the Phillies are playing better. The Mets are not.
Phillies are good, dude. The Phillies are still one of the most complete teams in the league.
No, I'm not going to say anything. Not going to say anything. But you're right.
It's a big series.
They have the second best record in the National League right now. They're on pace for a bye. So we've got a big series. We've got the pitching matchups. James, I know we got 4 of them. It's going to be tough, but you're going to have to give us every single thing you know about every pitcher that could possibly pitch this series. We need
I got it. 2 of them we just saw between Christopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo, the last 2 games of the series.
Quick refresher for the people. Or for Eric Chavez and Jeremy Barnes if they're listening. How do we hit these guys?
We'll get there. We'll go chronologically. But first, we're going to have Nola Monday night. Aaron Nola, factually, to this point in the season, hasn't pitched up to his usual career standards. Aaron Nola, earlier in the season, he struggled a lot to get his velocity back up. Aaron Nola kind of famously shows up to the season without his peak velocity. But Aaron Nola's peak velocity is a big deal because he sits like between 91 and 92. And then sometimes he would drop to 90. There's a big difference right there in that gradient and what a hitter's going to have to face. Now he's come back. He is back around 92, and he's leaned way more into the knuckle curve. Both has a pitch to get called strikes and get swings and misses. So I think just you got to kind of sit on that curveball and then try to adjust to the fastball, which is kind of the thing that Nola's done to get hitters out his whole career. But especially the more he's throwing it in the strike zone, I would like to see them kind of try to jump on that pitch and see if you can get him to make some mistakes, get some guys on base, and see if you can start that ball rolling. The Brewers scored 5 runs on him in the first inning in his last start. So I think there's a world where, but then he settled in really well after that. It doesn't look like it because of the 5 runs, but you kind of just have to hit him when you can because he will find grooves. He's still Aaron Nola, but he's just been hittable this year. So you got to go out there ready to hit.
Yeah, I feel like the Mets recently have been hitting Nola better than they had prior. So maybe part of that is being a little more aggressive and jumping on what is a pretty mediocre fastball.
Definitely. And again, waiting for that curveball. Ranger Suarez is very good, who we're going to face on Tuesday night in the series. Even just to give you guys the matchup, because I haven't talked about the Mets guys. Also, 6:45 games this series again. Everybody be ready. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6:45 games. Nolan McLean versus Aaron Nola, Sean Manaea, Ranger Suarez, lefty off, Clay Holmes versus Christopher Sanchez, and David Peterson versus Jesus Luzardo. So again, I'm talking about Suarez. It's a bag of tricks. Suarez has got so many different looks that he will be able to show, especially hitters from the right side. The changeup's really good. The sinker's good when he places it against them. And then he's throwing fewer curveballs this year, more cutters and changeups. But again, he will mix all of those in any count. It's a very difficult at bat because he has so many different ways to beat you.
He's a guy who, like, every time I watch, I go, when is it going to end? And it never does. He just continues to pitch really, really well throughout his career.
I don't know. Why do you think it's going to end?
I think he's an unimpressive pitcher to watch. I don't think you watch Ranger Suarez and you're blown away. Is that fair?
Yeah, but no, because he's a pitcher, though. Like, the way that he mixes the different locations
for sure, but
and counts.
But it's just like
It's an old school guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's an unimpressive watch. Like, it's like similarly to
he's
when
not Hunter Green.
I'm not saying they're the same. But similar to when David Peterson pitches well, you're not like impressed. You're not like, whoa, like how does anybody?
He's not blowing you away.
Yeah.
No, you're a leftist. You don't like lefty pitchers.
Yeah,
you don't respect
throw
them enough.
hard. Throw harder.
The lefty average fastball velocity is like 2 full mile an hour below the average righty fastball velocity.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they don't got the juice.
It's like 95 and a half versus 93 and a half. Suarez himself sits at 90.
That's what I'm talking about. Unimpressive to watch.
For sure, but at the same time, he's mixing everything. You don't know what you're getting.
Sure, he's good. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's an unimpressive watch. You're not like, oh, Ranger Suarez is pitching tonight. Let me tune in and see what he's up to.
I might tune in and see Ranger Suarez up to for sure.
You're sick in the head. You have a disease.
I do have a disease. I like watching pitchers, but it's going to be frustrating because, again, like Mark's saying, he's not blowing you away. It's going to be around the strike zone. He doesn't walk anybody, but you're just going to keep handing the ball into the ground and hitting these lazy fly balls because you're just barely missing the barrel because you do not know which pitch is coming, and they all move kind of similarly. They're all kind of around the same area, especially you're mostly going to see fastball, sinkers, cutters, and changeups, and they're all right there. It's all like a little tiny this, every different directions. It's frustrating. And then the next 2 guys, Sanchez and Luzardo, we hit them last time. I think the same idea. Sanchez, he's going to be throwing you strikes. You have to try and jump on him, put pressure on, get guys on base, and see if you can make him uncomfortable like we did. Well, Luzardo is kind of the opposite, sitting way back. He's coming off a good start. We always know Jesus Luzardo's next bad start is always right around the corner. But that's kind of wait back, wait for him to make the mistake where Sanchez jump on all the balls in strike zone and try to make the contact work for you.
I don't know if you saw these comments, James. To everybody listening to the podcast, me and James started a baseball channel together to talk about more baseball called The Wind Up. Definitely go check it out. We appreciate it. But on specifically our like short form content, when we said that Alec Boehm and Jesus Luzardo were the most overrated players on the Phillies team, people were like, Alec Boehm's hitting 280. Jesus Luzardo's got a 3.80 ERA. I think it's up to 4 now. But it is so funny. I'm like, you're proving our point. You're doing the work for us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's literally the whole thing. But that is who Luzardo is. Like sometimes you will get who looks like a Cy Young guy.
Untouchable. Yeah.
Where Sanchez, weirdly, he is like that kind of guy. So I do hope we got to him last time again. Hope the same game plan. But I know he'll adjust. He'll do something different this time as well. But this is a good team. These are good pitchers. You see Max Kepler also sneakily is now blazing hot out of nowhere.
Is he really?
Yes, and we have a couple pitcher guys going this series where I know he's going to get those starts against Nolan McLean and Clay Holmes. I know McLean's been great against lefties, but both of those guys objectively will struggle more against lefties than righties. So that's probably a player to watch who's under the radar, not the stars that we know about from the Phillies.
And I think Brandon Marsh has been playing better as well, too, recently.
He always does thing, but Trey Turner did just leave their game on Sunday with some hamstring tightness.
No comment.
No comment. But
no comment.
I know we beat this team. I know it feels like sometimes we have their number. It's a really, really good baseball team, the Phillies. They should not be taken lightly. It's a really important series because we have 4 games against a good team, and we need to start sacking wins desperately because we do not want to give these other National League teams any more life than we've already given them.
Can't let them hang around. The Mets need to finish the next few games till the end of the season. 3, 4, 5 games over 500. You can't be playing even 500 baseball and feel comfortable about what you're doing.
No, absolutely not. And again, it starts with beating these good teams. Like that's a big part of this. So
show we're a good team. Prove it. Prove it to the Mets fans. Prove it to baseball fans. Prove it to people that the Mets are a good team that deserve to be in the playoffs. Because we think they are, but they haven't shown it fully just yet.
And again, like this long of a road trip this time this season is difficult. And the fact that even if you just split with the Phillies, you go 500 on the road trip, like that's fine. Like go 500 in this road trip. You said that at the beginning, you're facing against 3 teams over 500, 2 teams who are in the top 4 in all of Major League Baseball and win totals. It's like, all right, you split, you get out of this, you get back home, let's keep playing baseball. But it's very important to not let this team keep bleeding right away against the Phillies.
And I do think we'll find out almost instantly on Monday how this series is going to go.
I don't think so because the exact opposite of that happened this series against the Reds.
I don't know. Did it though?
Yeah, because we jumped all over them the first half hour of that game.
But then like 20 minutes later, you were like, oh, we're not
more
doing
like
anything
45 minutes later. It took like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning until we really felt that. But I don't know. It felt like we had much more momentum than we wound up leaving with.
We'll see. We'll find out. We'll see what we got. We got Frankie Peppers here to help close out this episode. A little bit of a shorter one, but truthfully, there's just not much to talk about.
I'm not sure of the Frankie Peppers as well. 17 seconds to send this out.
Very concise.
Next Sunday. Yeah. Here comes Frankie.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing? I don't want to eat skyline chili. I don't want to do it. I have to do it. I said I do it. I don't want to do it. Let's go, Mets.
Frankie did promise if we lost the series, Skyline Chili, right?
That's a defeated man. I mean, obviously, we would never. What are you playing?
That was the Instagram popped up. Our reel popped up.
Shout the wind up. Obviously, we would never want to compromise the identity of Frankie Peppers, but a video of Frankie Peppers eating some bolognese or eating some Skyline chili would definitely hit the algorithm pretty hard.
I think the people would appreciate that, Frankie.
Yes, we'll let you decide. You're an artist. We would never tell you how to work your game.
100%. I think that's all we got.
I think that's pretty much all we got. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you are following us on all our social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, subscribe to the Mets'd Podcast YouTube channel if you want to see the video version of this. And if you are listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Draft Nick Mark with a C. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you all in the next episode. Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets, guys. Peace out.